A beautiful early fall September Saturday night from Miller Park. It's the Phillies and Brewers Game 3 of their 4-game weekend set from Miller Park. And Chris Bosio taking Braden Looper out. It's a bounce-back start for him tonight on the mound, and he'll oppose Kyle Kendrick of the Phillies, who makes a spot start because Pedro Martinez was a scratch last night. He has stiffness in his neck, so it's Looper and Kendrick in Game 3 of the series here in Milwaukee from Miller Park. Hi, everybody. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Craig Kashan. Brian Anderson off doing national TV tomorrow, getting ready for the game on TBS. So we'll take you as far as we can on this Saturday night. And Rock, it's going to be an RBI party. It already has been, really, between these two sluggers in Prince Fielder and Ryan Howard so far in the series.
Now, these guys have been doing it all season long, and they continue to do it in this series. Prince Fielder just continues to master baseball. Home runs in back-to-back games, 5 RBIs in this series, 136 RBIs, leads the National League. Prince Fielder has just been tremendous all season long. And speaking of tremendous, Ryan Howard, former MVP award winner, he's got 5 RBIs in this series, one behind Prince Fielder for the National League RBI race. Albert Pujols is kind of stuck on 129 RBIs, but these two guys have certainly done a nice job so far this year, and you can see what they've done in the one-on-one battle as they face off again.
Prince 4 RBIs last night, Ryan Howard 3. It should be a fun one here tonight. And it could be interesting for Braden Looper. He has the dubious record of giving up the most home runs in a single season for a Brewer pitcher. It's at 37 right now, and he's running up against the best offense in the league.
Well, I'll tell you, his first time out against Philly back in April, he pitched very well. I mean, at Citizens Bank Ballpark, a home run hitter's ballpark, did not give up a run. In 6 strong innings, only gave up 5 base hits, but Braden Looper, I mean, he's facing the best home run hitting ball club in all the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies. Got to have his good command, has not had that in his last couple of starts.
Well, the last time the Phillies won a series here, they went on to the National League Championship Series. The Brewers, with a win tonight, could play spoiler and hold off the Phillies' bid for a National League East Division title. So it's the Brewers and Phillies. Game 3 coming up in the series next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. this afternoon should be a nice night for baseball. Charlie Manuel, the Phillies manager, trying to win back-to-back World Series championships, delivered the first one for the Phillies in 3 decades a year ago, and of course on the way, top the Brewers in the divisional series here at Miller Park. This is what he will put out for his batting order tonight. Jimmy Rollins back at the top of the order. Shane Victorino, Chase Utley, and then Ryan Howard. Look at his career against Brandon Looper. 4 for 6. All 4 of those hits are home runs, including 5 RBIs. That is absolutely tremendous.
Well, let's check out the Piggly Wiggly scatter report on Braden Looper here tonight. Looking for a bounce back. Last time out, the first start of less than 5 innings since way back in June. That was against Detroit. That span was 17 starts. He's had good success against the Phillies this year. We talked about that start did not allow a run in 6 innings at Citizens Bank Park back in April. And we talked about the home runs. He's got to be able to minimize the home runs. He's given up at least 1 home run in 11 of his last 12 starts. He's given up 37 of them. No team hits more home runs than the Philadelphia Phillies.
And the defense behind Braden Looper tonight. Ryan Braun, Jody Garrett gets the start in center, and Corey Hart in the outfield. Council gets the start at third. J.J. Hardy tonight at short. Lopez fielder, and then Looper will be caught by Jason Kendall behind the plate. So Braden Looper already has a career-high 13 wins in a single season, looking for number 14 here in his ERA. Pops over 5 now at 5.12, and he has had a tremendous amount of support, run support. Rob.
Yeah, no pitcher in the National League gets more runs by his team than Braden Looper. Only 2 his last time out in a 10-2 loss against the Cubs.
Hunter Wendelstedt is behind the plate tonight. Dana DeMuth, Doug Eddings, and Brian Knight out on the base paths. We are ready for baseball game 3 of the series between the Brewers and the Phillies. Again, the Phillies' magic number is 4 entering tonight's action in the National League East over the Braves. They are also in action tonight against Washington. So it could happen if the stars align for the Phillies, but all the Brewers have to do is win, and the Phillies won't be able to celebrate here. And Rollins hits the first pitch to Prince Fielder, and that's an easy, good way to start for the Brewers tonight.
Now, Braden Looper throughout the year has struggled with the command of the fastball. He's got to get that pitch down and on the corners. His last 2 starts, both coming against the Chicago Cubs, 1 at Wrigley, 1 here at Miller Park. A little bit shaky, but still in all, it's been a good season for Loop.
And the Braves an 11-5 winner, so regardless of what happens here with the Phillies and Brewers underway,
we don't need any champagne.
You don't need any champagne running around here.
Just 1 more win, and that would postpone that celebration. Phillies clinched here last year.
They know what it's like in Brewtown. So Shane Victorino steps out. Charlie Manuel, you guys talked about it on the air the other night, his first managing job here in the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin Rapids.
He's really done a nice job keeping his club together. You know, a bunch of veteran guys, particularly guys at the top of the order, and sometimes that could be a bit of a challenge. Back-to-back years where the season hasn't started all that great for the Phillies, and once again Charlie Manuel coming under scrutiny, but he's got these guys playing some pretty good baseball now.
3-1 on the way, and Looper gets it in there to move the count full with 1 out, first inning here from Miller Park. Up the middle, Hardy throws it away, and Victorino will reach.
Man, I got to believe that's going to be an error on JJ. That's a play that he makes just about every time. Probably didn't have a good grip on the baseball. Victorino runs pretty well. Probably JJ feeling as though he had to rush it. And no chance for Prince over at first base. Good throw gets him.
Certainly not an easy play, but you're right, Rock. I'm sure it's one JJ would say, I've got to make that play, and he usually does.
Big leaguer's going to make that.
in the series, average at .310 with 9 home runs. Here comes Kendrick. That one's in there, and the count is even. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kendrick has been up and down with the Phillies between Lehigh Valley and Philadelphia. Strike 2 on Lopez. Been with the Phillies in June, July, and then his final call in September. 9-7 at Lehigh Valley in 24 starts. Lopez bounces towards right. It's cut off by Utley, and he throws him out. 1 down. Here's Craig Counsell. Kendrick, lifetime against Milwaukee, 0-1. Covers 1 game. He worked 7 innings. That was back in 07. One man out, and Counsell is in there. Here is the pitch by Kendrick, and that one's good for a strike. 0-1. Kendrick has worked both from the bullpen and as a starter for the Phillies. Low inside on Craig. 1 ball and 1 strike. Working from the windup, the kick and the pitch. Counsell lines it to left, slicing foul to the lower seats. Counsell is facing Kendrick for the first time in his career. Ball 1 and strike 2 on the Brewers' third baseman tonight. Raul Ibanez gets the start in left field for Philadelphia. First start in the series for him. Victorino in center. Jason Worth is in right. Feliz, Rollins, Utley, and Howard third to first, and Paul Bacco is doing the catching. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here it is. Counsell lines another one foul to the lower seats. The only other time that Kendrick has faced Milwaukee, it was against Giovanni Gallardo. Allowed a couple of runs in 7 innings. That was a 2-1 loss here at Miller Park for Philadelphia. The 2-2 pitch. In there on Counsell. He knew it. Strikeout number 1 for Kendrick. Portions of tonight's game brought to you by Badger Mutual Insurance. Protecting people's dreams since 1887. Auto, home, and business. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Ryan Braun. Phillies have held him in check. He's 1 for 9. Kendrick wheels and deals, and it's lined foul by Brawny. 1 strike to the Brewers left fielder. Working from the windup. Here it is. That one is just a bit outside, and it's 1-1. Phillies head home following tomorrow's game. They'll wind up their regular season at Citizens Bank Park. Houston and the Florida Marlins. 1-1 to Braun is hit foul up along third and into the Phillies dugout and then into the lower seats. Ball 1 and strike 2. The Brewers head out for Colorado and then wind up play in St. Louis. Tell you what, the way things are running now, That series in Colorado could be a very big one for the Rockies. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Braun a swing and a miss. Kendrick strikes him out. 3 up, 3 down, and at the end of 1 complete with Brewers Radio presented by Kohl's, it remains Philadelphia nothing and Milwaukee nothing. Worth to lead things off against Braden Looper. Worth, Ibanez, and then Pedro Feliz. All right, Looper is set to work. Here is his first offering to Worth. That's good for a strike on the inside corner. Well, the Yankees knocked off Boston again on a shutout today, 3-0. Here is the 0-1 delivery, and that's bounced foul outside third, and it's 2 quick strikes. Cubs beat the Giants again. San Francisco looking back. Two strikes and the pitch. It's high and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, when you look at the Giants, just not enough firepower there. Swinging a fly ball, hit to left. Ryan Braun backpedaling near the warning track, settles and makes the catch to retire Worth. And here is Raul Ibanez. Here is Ibanez. 33 home runs with 89 runs batted in. You know, when you look at the Giants lineup, I mean, they've got a little pop, but
he's coming back, so that's a good thing. I think Braden Looper's been a tremendous addition to the starting rotation. Maybe one of the questions we ask the owner, Mark Adenazio, is going to be coming up here with us in the 3rd inning.
And he is on hand for the weekend series against the Phillies, doing some work in the community too. We'll talk to him about that and what's going to happen potentially during the offseason. It's going to be an interesting one here in Milwaukee as Raul Ibanez steps in, takes a ball. This one in for a strike to even the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Ibanez first start in the series. He pinch hit last night. A bit of the stomach flu kept him out of the lineup a couple of days.
Well, he was an instant hit for the Phillies as soon as he put on the uniform here in 2009.
Yeah, 37 years old. He got off to a tremendous start and a first-time All-Star at 37 years old. Never too late.
So there's hope for me after all, right?
You betcha. You 37?
a little older than that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, if you're 37 or older, there's still hope for you.
I thought so. I thought you were older than that.
Count even on Ibanez at 2-2. Looper now has it full.
Yeah, split-fingered fastball, just missing off the outside corner. Good take by Ibanez.
This one to center. Garrett positions himself, and 2 gone.
Well, you like what you saw from Looper in the first inning. All 4 batters in that inning hit ground balls, and you're talking about the big run producers in that lineup. But in this inning, Worth and Ibanez both fly ball outs. It doesn't matter how you get the outs, as long as they're outs.
That brings up Pedro Feliz. 8 home runs and 26 RBIs in his career against Milwaukee. Having a nice road trip. Phillies heading up a 10-game road trip. Again.
And that fastball right down the middle, and Baco put it in the Phillies bullpen.
That brings up the pitcher now, Kyle Kendrick. 1-2 the count on him. 38 home runs allowed by Braden Looper, and this one a base hit by the pitcher. And that gives an opportunity for the top of the order to come up with a runner on.
It reminds you of Thursday night, the way the bottom of the order had, did so much damage. The top was handled pretty well, but the bottom 4 in the order, including the pitcher J.A. Happ with a base hit and an RBI. If you have any hope of beating the Phillies, you got to control the bottom of that order, because the guys at the top of the order are going to do a lot of damage.
Jimmy Rollins watches that one and evens the count up at 1-1. Grounded out in the first. 20 home runs, 75 RBIs in 2009. So Looper trying to end the damage at just 2 runs here in the second inning. Falls behind 2-1. Grounds this one into the Brewer dugout, foul.
They talk about Looper and his split-fingered fastball and the cutter. He throws those 2 different splitters, but it all works off of the fastball. He's able to get, strikes on the corners and down in the strike zone. That's when he has his good outings, and he throws downhill. That's the buzzword that Ken Maka likes to use. When he gets his fastball up in the zone and catches too much of the plate with it, really not able to get to that splitter. And the split-fingered fastball not designed as a pitch to throw for a called strike, not early in the count.
Well, Jimmy Rollins making him work a little extra hard here to try to get out of the second inning. Here comes the 2-2. This one to center. Garrett should have it. And that will end the second inning for Philly, but they get 2 runs. Prince Fielder will step up to the plate as he's in that RBI chase with Ryan Howard.
Trail the Phillies by a couple of runs. The Brewers are making this fan appreciation weekend, and after batting practice around 4:30 this afternoon, the Brewers themselves headed to the parking lots to give some personal thank yous to some very lucky fans, and it was a surprise. A lot of players were very excited to do that because they knew it was going to be a surprise, and over 3 million fans have come to Miller Park to see the Brewers play this year. The second consecutive season that has happened, and that's a tremendous feat, guys.
Thanks, Telly. You got that right. As Prince Fielder leads off the second inning, we'll talk to Mark Attanasio about that. And, of course, he wants to find a way to bring 3 million more in 2010. But part of the reason they're coming to see this guy, Prince Fielder, Rock.
Well, he'll be back, that's for sure. Ryan Braun will be back, and it's going to be interesting to see what the Brewers do in the offseason with a lot of their free agents, a lot of questions to be answered. But given the market that the Brewers are in, fans have been unbelievable the last couple of years. They've always been good, but for 6 million fans to be coming through these turnstiles the last 2 years, it's incredible.
Our Taco Bell who's out Prince Fielder, even though he grounds out. What a month of September he has had so far.
Well, 4 and 5.
I should say this homestand, not just in September.
Yeah, 4 and 5 hitters have been pretty good in the month. Casey McGee as well, and this homestand has been tremendous. In a pressure type situation, you're not talking about a guy that is trying to drive in these runs to get to the postseason. That has long since been resolved. But Prince has been battling a couple of things. I mean, some franchise records. He's trying to win that RBI crown in the National League, and it seems like he's a guy that's just not fazed by a whole lot.
Yeah, absolutely right. Not fazed by anything except getting out there and having some fun. And the Iron Man of baseball as well. The only Only player to start in every game out of any team in baseball. MB Prince, you got that right. It's Jody Garrett ahead in the count, 2-0. Speaking of guys who are having a good month and a good homestand, Jody Garrett.
Yeah, good stretch for Jody. Last couple of months have been pretty good for him. And because of that, he's getting a start in center field. And is providing the protection for fielder in the lineup. That's a responsibility in its own right.
And he draws a walk, so the Brewers have a base runner for the first time. And Jody Garrett over his last 28 games, you like that, 319, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, and he scored 10 runs.
They had a grand slam in Chicago, almost had a grand slam here a few nights ago. Hit one to the wall with the bases loaded, but really starting to put together some pretty good at bats. I mean, he's a very good outfielder, covers a lot of ground. He adds some speed in that lineup as well.
They'll check Garrett over at first as Corey Hart steps up. And let's take a look at the first 49 games compared to the last 28 for Jody Garrett. And it has been night and day in a Brewer uniform.
Man, that 28 games has covered about 6 weeks and really starting to get some at-bats. I mean, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I mean, you're going to get playing time. And the only way to get the playing time is to swing the bat well. And that's tough to do for a young player when you're not getting a consistent at-bats.
Always perplexed. The chicken or the egg. It just kind of throws me into a tizzy.
I can't sleep at night.
I can't either. Something's got to straighten that out in this game. Hart waits. Ball high. So Garrett's primarily been used in center or right, and he'll go to center with Corey Hart. Kind of assuming the everyday duties over in right field now that he's back and healthy again. Hart to left. Got a hold of that one. And over the head of Ibanez. Or does he make the catch? He made the catch. Wow.
Yes, he did. Heck of a catch by Ibanez. Wow.
How did he get to that one?
Over the shoulder catch. A little bit of a smile on his face saying, I can't believe I made that catch either, Craig.
You and me both, Raul.
A tremendous play. Jody Garrett was all the way around second base thinking he was going to be able to score. Our Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. Well done, Ibanez out in left. 37 years old in all. Still able to make that play going back. He was playing relatively shallow for Corey. On his horse, right over his head. I think initially when he went after that baseball, didn't think he was going to be able to catch up to it. Jody Garrett had to retouch the bag at second base because he had rounded second.
That lit up scoreboard in left field threw me off with the big white MLB logo. I got to admit.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. I mean, all those white lights out there, you can't really tell.
And imagine being a left fielder and turning and seeing that out there. It's a nice catch. Electronic scoreboard. The logos and the scores all rotate around. So 2 down. Garrett goes back to first, and J.J. Hardy steps up. Splitting time, of course, with Alcides Escobar over at short. He gets the start on this Saturday night.
Well, that's what Ken Maka said he was going to do the rest of the way. You just can't, sit one or the other down, give them equal playing time. That's been 2 on and 2 off for both of them, pretty much.
0-2 to Hardy. This one's going to go foul. Talked to JJ for a bit today just about playing that part-time role and kind of waiting it out through the rest of the year. And he said that's not anything more I can do about it out of his control, except when he gets a chance to play, do his thing. It's pretty obvious stuff, and you get through the end of the regular season and see what happens during the offseason.
Yeah, just try and put it out of your mind when you're out there in the field.
Ball Ball down low, 1-2.
And it's been interesting watching JJ and Escobar, go about their business during batting practice. I mean, they get along very well. They talk quite a bit. They work out at shortstop together. They root for each other. They both understand the situation. Neither one of them can do anything about it.
It's a good point. I mean, there's a battle going on, but J.J. Hardy doing his part here. So this is all he can do. Get the base hit. Now there's 2 on with 2 out.
Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Brewers at Brewers.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Brewers.com shop.
So Jason Kendall, the catcher. J.J. Hardy, big smile over there with Eddie Cedar at first base. Kendall's got a chance here to drive home a Brewer run if he can get a base hit. Garrett bounces around second base. Sproles behind at the count 0-1. Kendall with 34 RBIs on the season. Runs to short. And Rollins can't get the job done, so the bases are loaded.
That base hit for Jason Kendall. And one of the few times that you want to slide into second base when you see the first baseman leave the bag and you know he's going to tag you, so you get down. Jason Kendall did that. Not that he needed to, but just to make sure. Jimmy Rollins gets rid of it quickly and way off the mark, and the bases are loaded. Back-to-back hits. A nice slide by Jason.
You and Davey were just talking about that the other night on one of our on-field instructionals. Generally, you don't want to do that, but there's a time and place.
And that's the only time you want to really slide into first base, and to avoid a tag. You get to the bag quicker when you run through it. Davey was interesting. Davey really was non-committal on that. I was trying to really, pin him down on that, but he never really said you slow down when you slide in there, but let's just go with that.
Yeah. Well, Davey knows.
And he was holding back on me.
He might have been holding back a little bit. He doesn't want to give all his running secrets away. So Braden Looper steps up with the bases loaded, 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning. A chance to even things up. He is down 2-0 in this game. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Braden Looper very capable of swinging the bat. 211 with 8 RBIs here in 2009. Puts this one into play. Little soft fly to right. And a foul ball. Not by much down there. There's not a whole lot of room as Jason Wirth tried to chase it down.
That's a tough play for a right fielder, particularly a visiting right fielder. Then you got that pad. There's about 4 feet between the foul line and the wall down there. And you slide in there. Sometimes that ball will go off that padding and hit you right in the nose. Came close to it. And then you got that chain link area down there that can mess you up.
That could put a bruise out here or two. The chain link's for the visiting right fielders.
All right. Just to mess them up.
0-2 on Looper with the bases loaded. Stays alive. Just gets a piece of that one. Kendrick had a base hit against him in the second. Let's see if Looper can return the favor. Would pay dividends. Fan appreciation night at Miller Park. They'd appreciate a hit right here. And Looper watches this one a little low. Garrett, Hardy, and Kendall. 1-2 from Kendrick. Called strike 3. And the threat ends. Brewers come up empty despite loading the bases here in the bottom of the second. Phillies stake claim to their 2-0 lead. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local farm and fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. Beautiful September night for baseball, and to come out to the ballpark, and for the second consecutive year, 3 million fans go through the turnstiles at Miller Park. The 3 millionth coming through here tonight with 2 games left in the home portion of the schedule. Last year, a franchise record 3.68 plus million folks came through, and Mark Antanasio, the Brewer owner, now joins us up in the booth, and I know you have a big thanks to give to these guys. They have enjoyed the last couple of years.
Craig, we hung a banner out in center field that says, "Thank you, fans," 3 million times, and I think if everybody in the Brewers organization could do that, we'd all, spend all day just saying thank you to our fans, the same way we all spend all day voting for our players when it's All-Star time.
Well, the Phillies are leading off the third inning here, and Victorino grounds to short, and Lopez can't handle it. And we want to talk about a few things in the community with you, Mark, and talk a little baseball throughout this inning as well. And one of the things you were able to do today is the Milwaukee Art Museum, along with the Selig family, the Andy Warhol, The Last Decade. And this exhibit just starting today. Tell us why you wanted to bring this to Milwaukee.
Well, this show is really one of a kind. It's the first time there's been later Andy Warhol works pulled together, and interestingly, it's been pulled together by a guy named Joe Kettner, who was a curator at Milwaukee Art Museum. And anytime Milwaukee can be on the cutting edge of something in anything, whether it's in the arts or sciences or, frankly, in baseball, we want to support it. So Debbie and I, are very excited about being part of that whole project there.
Mark, the family, your whole family, from Debbie to your kids and your parents involved in the community here. COA Youth and Family Centers gave you guys a big honor. It had to be a big thing for you, Parents of the Year here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and our son Dan got up and really did us proud and kind of stole the show from us in terms of talking about what it's been like to live under the two of us for 20 years. But there's Dan on the screen there. But the city has really embraced us since there's my folks, my 2 sons, opening day a few years ago. But the city's really embraced us since we got here, and just saying today, what a warm and welcoming community this is, and it's our privilege to be part of it.
Your dad, once again, going to sing the national anthem next year, opening day?
He's talking to Bob Euchre about getting, see if Euchre's agent could help him out and maybe get his price up a little bit. He didn't really feel like we're taking good care of him here.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's been fun. It's become a nice tradition here. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, the other thing that, this organization does so well. I mean, we've been in a lot of organizations, and, the Brewers really involved in the community. Jeff Supan's, charity for the troops. Yeah, that's a big thing. Outstanding work. And Doug and Ellen Melvin, along with your family, the Susan G. Komen for the Cure, raising $65,000 this year.
One of the things that really strikes me about what a good organization we have is how much individuals both players and management try to get involved in the community and with charity. So Jeff Supan and Soup's Troops, Mike Cameron had a bowling tournament this summer to send underprivileged kids to summer camp. A bunch of the Brewers' wives have gotten together. Brewers' wives have raised, I think, over $80,000 this year, and got together and raised money for cerebral palsy, partly, in honor of Casey McGee's son, who's been battling with that. And, I'm continually, I'm just, kind of without words when I think about how much these guys who play 162 games in 180 days nevertheless go out and have time when we ask them to help out with charity. And it's a big group we got down in that dugout there.
It's good, too, to see, the players, if you single them out, they become the faces of the franchise when they're taking their time in doing these things. And whether it's this one hit to right and deep, Hart going back to the wall, he may have a beat on it, and he does. So that's the first out of the third inning. But, Mark, just to take that a step further, just to see these players out, as you mentioned, taking that honor themselves, like Mike Cameron. Now, the camp may not be here, but he's taking a group down to Atlanta.
Yeah, and Mike's family and he are from Atlanta, and so they're bringing some of what he sees great in that city to our city. And Mike's been a real leader the couple of years he's here, and bowling tournament, which was really his impetus, is a great example of that. See how Felipe Lopez looks like he's better at hitting a fastball than throwing a strike. Better hitting strikes than throwing strikes.
Well, you like the fact that some of those guys are bowling left-handed, at least. They can't use that as an excuse for a bad outing, right?
That's right.
I did get a kick out of seeing all the pitchers use their opposite hand. They got to take care of themselves. There's no doubt about that. So up to the plate now is Ryan Howard, runner at first base, and then Shane Victorino. Howard watches this one go by. So lots going on in the community. It's just kind of interesting. You can keep going up and down the line of some of the things that have become important. But I know the SCORE program continues to really be at the top of the list, because it ends up targeting youth and kids, and education so involved.
And it's a way, again, that we can bring our players into the community. So one day every year, in and around everything that we do with that program, everybody in the organization goes out and spends time at Milwaukee Public School. And it's a way that, you can put a personal touch on what, there's lots of ways you can give money and come up with ideas, but the players can reach out and touch members of the community. Also, I think, the Brewers' wives for years, at least since I've been here, have sponsored the Sojourner House, which is for domestic abuse, and we've raised a lot of money for that as well.
A lot of organizations, they try to do that, but as you were talking about, you have to have the personnel, the people at the top, the general manager, the manager, all the coaches, they have to buy into that, and that's kind of a tip of the hat to the whole organization, top and down, to really take the time and do those things on a regular basis.
Well, one of the things I talk to the players about every year at the start of spring training is the importance of giving back to the community. And you see the kind of outpouring of support we have here, a full house it looks like again tonight. And besides the fact that the fans make all this happen, the fact is it's a lot more fun to play in front of a full house than it is in front of a lot of empty seats. And I talked to the players about that, and it really resonates with them. The other night, Doug Melvin was meeting with Dave Bush and Craig Counsell to talk about the SCORE program, and they had a lot of very specific ideas on what we might be able to do better with that program. So this isn't a question of guys just going out and going through the motions on a morning in May. Guys, think about what we're doing and how we can do it better, and And we get a lot of good input on that. Likewise, the players' wives, really an underused resource, and we're going to try to get them more involved in the community next year because they have a lot of good ideas on how they can be helpful. And by the way, Brewers' wives have as much or more energy than Brewers' players. So
that's good. Somebody has to be the backbone of the family, right?
Well, yeah, that's they're kind of the unsung heroes. These guys are on the road a lot, and they keep everything going.
Howard really battling with Looper, but wins the battle this time. A single to right. And that'll move the runner, Victorino, over to third base. So suddenly first and third with one out here in the third inning for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Now Ryan Howard continues to hammer that ball down in the strike zone. You get that ball down and away, I mean, you have a chance with Howard. But down and in, it's deadly. I mean, typical left-handed hitter. You got to be careful with it. Wasn't a bad pitch actually by Looper. A cut fastball that he tried to sneak under his hands and couldn't do it.
So Worth goes to right. Hart's going to get underneath it. Victorino's going to tag. Here comes the throw. Play at the plate. He's going to be safe. And the Brewers throwing the ball around. It goes into center, but Howard will stay at second base. The Phillies get a run, though, on the sacrifice fly.
Now, Mark, can you give us a sneak preview of perhaps some of the some new community efforts that the Brewers are looking to do for next year?
Well, one of the things that we always look at when doing community service is not giving up on things that we've done before. So the first order of business is to make sure that everything we're doing it as excellent a fashion as we can. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to, as I mentioned, we've got some good ideas from Craig Counsell and Dave Bush on the SCORE program. We've got a number of ways we think we can support some of the other charities that we've talked about here tonight, and we're gonna start with those and then go from there.
How important, Mark, is it? You mentioned you like the input from the players and their families when we all look at this being kind of a generational thing, a generational change in how you go about doing your business from point A to point B and time period as long, going right through that as well.
Well, one of the things that and you see what with the veterans, for example, the fact that Mike Cameron and Jeff Suppan have taken particular leadership roles with charity, and Craig Counsell and Dave Bush is also the players rep, have stepped up. It's a good way for not only to hear from us in management, but to hear from veterans, the younger players, to get steeped in how they can make a difference in the world. I'll tell you, Casey McGee, he's 26 years old, and he spoke to his wife after the cerebral palsy event, and this guy is finally the first time he's made money in his life. Mm-hmm. Right? It's the first time in major leagues, right? And he's immediately giving back, and so there's a lot of good that can be done through the game of baseball, and I'm just going to try to tap into that.
Yeah, that whole Casey McGee family. I mean, I guess his son Mac has become the team mascot. I mean, it's been amazing how he has captured the fans. He's captured that dugout and the Brewer family. I mean, he's a quite special kid.
It's fun to watch. We had him on shot of him while his dad was batting in last night's game. Big swing and a miss by Ibanez. Count moves to full now, 3-2, as Looper is trying to get out of this third inning without any further damage. Howard sits at second base, a run already in. 3-0 the score. The Brewers a couple of errors early in this ball game. Here's the 3-2, and taken for another ball. So a couple of walks this inning as well. So it's 2-on for Feliz as he steps up.
It is a very tough lineup to get through, not only because of their power, because they very rarely swing pitches out of the strike zone. That ball didn't look like much. That it missed by much. Anything you can do about the strike zone, and by the way, I mean, it's amazing how small that strike zone seems to be, but I digress anyway. It's one of the things that we talk about up here from time to time.
They, honestly, I know baseball has done a terrific job of homogenizing what a strike is, but what that leads to is a lot of close calls that end up being ball four.
Right.
So Feliz up now with 2 on. Mark, as you get into further ownership with this ball club, I was talking to some people the other day about this, some Brewer fans and some sponsors as well. With your title and how you're known now across the country, you've had a very successful business going, but now are you more known as the Major League Baseball owner? And how has that changed you?
You know, I was told by one of my partners, who's an investor in the team, Bob Byer, that the problem with me buying a baseball team was going to be that anybody would only define me by the team. And I guess that's been all good to this point. But, you know, we have to reprove ourselves every year. And but it's true. There's an amazing microscope on baseball in the United States. And everything we do is chronicled somewhere.
Yeah, we're looking forward to talking to you next inning about some of the things, some of the the challenges that the organization has in the off season. It's going to be quite an interesting off season.
It will be an interesting off season with raised expectations, raised challenges, and we'll have a lot to talk about next half inning.
Let's get to that half inning a little sooner than we're hoping for here, because the Phillies already have a run in and 2 on as Looper struggling here in the last 2 innings. A lot of pitches, Rob.
Man, that's the thing. When Loop doesn't have his good command, I mean, he's going to miss off the plate as opposed to try and throw the ball down the middle.
Feliz to center. Garrett's on his horse to come in. He's not going to be able to get it. Run comes home. And there's still 2 on for the Phillies. They lead it now 4-0.
And even when he does make a good pitch, the Phillies put the bat on the baseball and dump it into center field. Here's the bottom of this order once again. It's been amazing to watch the last few days. Relatively able to control some of the big guys at the top of the order. But this bottom of this Philly order has been doing a lot of damage. A cut fastball off the end of Feli's bat and dumps it into center field. Good approach by Feliz, not trying to pull it. Got enough of it to drive in the run.
So now Paul Bacco steps up. The last time he was up in the second, he hit a 2-run home run. And so that's not what you want out of the bottom of the order when they're at the plate, but that's what the Phillies can bring. They can bring it 1 through 9. This one outside. Looper misses again. 2-0 is the count. Mark, you came up and you have a special made order sport coat on, don't you?
Yes, I do, and I was hoping to show it under better circumstances here, but
we'll need to get a shot of that here after this pitch. How about that? 3-0, unfortunately, but the inside, the lining.
Yeah, we've got to see if we can. Thank you to the fans for 2009.
2009, look at that.
A great season for us in terms of fan support and attendance. A little bit of a disappointing season for us in terms of on-field performance, but we're gonna work on that in the off season.
You don't have any fake Rolexes in there or anything, do you?
No. A lot cheaper to put a lining in your jacket than just to get a Rolex.
Yeah, right, huh?
Walk around downtown Milwaukee and be another business.
No doubt. Hey, anything we can do to raise revenues.
There you go.
All right, Bacco's worked the count full, steps out of the box against Braden Looper. They put a 2 spot up here in the second and third innings. Carlos Villanueva up in the bullpen. This one right up the middle. JJ's got it. Throw to first. Safe. Just off the mark a little bit, but it does save a run. Bases are loaded for the Phillies.
Man, nothing but singles for the Phillies in this inning, all opened up by an error to Shane Victorino leading off the inning. It's amazing how these errors end up costing you big innings. Same thing happened on Thursday, a 6-run inning helped by a Brewer error in the infield. Tough play for JJ. He got there, and that throws on the mark. It would have been an out. It looked like it was accurate. It was a short hop, and Prince, his main responsibility there was to keep the ball in the infield. If you don't get the runner, so be it, but you don't want to have that ball get by you and then end up costing you 2 runs.
So Chris Bosio, pitching coach, comes out to have a word with Looper. 65 pitches, and we're not quite through the third inning yet as Villanueva continues to throw in that Brewer bullpen.
It really has been amazing, Mark, to watch the development of Prince Fielder at first base. He seems to know what to do. His hands are much better, moving around well. It's just not offense for him. It's been tremendous to watch him play first.
I think Prince prides himself on being a complete player, and his defense has definitely taken a notch up this year. He saved a number of runs last night and hits down the line, and it's also a pretty good base runner. Part of his game that's not focused on that much.
He's not going to give any outs away on the infield ground balls. He's going to run them out. We saw a good example of that last night too. You gotta do your part. As Kendrick, the pitcher, falls behind in the count 0-2. He had a base hit his first time up in the second inning. Looper trying to get out of it. Bases loaded. 2 runs already in. Here's the 0-2. Called strike 3, and he gets out of it. So the damage limited to 2 runs. We'll talk more with Brewers owner Mark Antanasio. Baseball when we come back. Fielder, and they'll need the big bats. They trail Philly 4-0. The dynamic duo this season, Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, combining for some tremendous power numbers. Top 2 run producers in baseball, and they've scored a lot of runs as well. And core of the franchise is owner Mark Antanasio rejoins us here as we go to the bottom of the third inning. And we're asked all the time how you describe the season, especially that Prince Fielder has had. But when you talk futuristic about this ball club, Mark, you can't help but saying, well, they've got a heck of a core base coming back in these 2 youngsters.
Look, every night's a tough night for opposing pitchers if you got to go through Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. And, they are dominant young stars, and I think guys like that come along once every 10 years, and we're lucky to have both of them.
And the guys around him have done a pretty good job for the most part. This guy's been a tremendous acquisition. I mean, everybody's looking for a leadoff hitter. He's done a great job. And, the offense, you have to be fairly happy, I guess. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the offense has been pretty good this year.
Yeah, as you know, Rock, I kind of look at numbers and analytics, and, all year we've been 3rd, 4th, or 5th in the league in runs scored out of 16 teams. So you have to feel good about that. That's, well above average and where you need to be to contend. It's not any surprise to anybody that where we've fallen short this year has been in pitching, in particular in starting pitching, and it just didn't come through for us this year. If you look at the Colorado Rockies and you look at us at the start of the year and look at the rotations, they look very similar. Yet, but their guys all had
Lopez gets a base hit. Good way to start the bottom of the third, and the ball gets past Ibanez, so Lopez will gladly take second base. Runner in scoring position for the Brewers to start out the third inning.
On cue after you talk about Felipe.
Yeah, he's something else. I mean, he's just a pure hitter. I mean, and there's a guy that the team has to make a decision on with respect to he's going to be a free agent.
Well, that's right, Rock. We got, we have a bit of a high-class problem here. Everybody, talks about the off-season, and the fact is we have a very good core of players. We have players. I was about to make a point on pitching where the guys in the Rockies probably had toward their better of their career years, and our guys this year, for the most part, had lesser than career years. But they were all below average. So the question is, well, does that mean they're going to stay in that trend, or are they going to bounce back? And Doug Melvin's that guy's doing analytics on that for about 60 days now intensively. So the fact that we have so many decisions to make, I view as a high-class problem, because it means it's not a question of having to really fill that many holes. It's a question of we maybe have 5 capable guys for 4 infield spots.
And speaking of starting rotation, talk a little bit about your young stud out there on the mound that you guys had to shut down. I mean, the pitch counts got up with him. Yovani Gallardo, he's had a pretty good season.
I just rode around in the golf cart with Yovani. We had a little thing for the fans before the game, and he's the 4th pitcher in team history to strike out 200 guys, and at the age of 23, we think he's only going to get better, but we got to make sure of that by a lot of young pitchers with power arms get overused early in their career, and we didn't want to overuse Yovani.
You can see the numbers early on. Outstanding work for Yovani Gallardo. Not so good. I mean, I think the numbers for the run average are a little bit deceiving because he had a couple of blow-up starts in there. But overall, tremendous season for Yo.
And actually, it's not surprising when he really didn't pitch that many games last year that, as a young pitcher who hasn't really been through a full major league season like that, that he would wear down at the end of the year. We saw that with Manny Parra last year, wearing down at the end of the year. And, it's what you can expect, but what you need to do is plan for that. And I think next year we'll definitely have more pitching depth in starting pitching.
Greg Counsell to left, base hit. Lopez had to watch for a moment, so he stops at third. First and third, nobody out for Ryan Braun.
Yeah, beautiful approach by Craig Counsell. Second time through this batting order against Kyle Kendrick. You would expect better swings by the Brewers. I haven't seen much of them this year, if at all. Now fastball up and away, and Craig goes right with it. What a nice surprise mark Craig Counsell's been this year.
Oh, the high energy player of the year, Craig Counsell. And I think it was a close vote actually with him and Prince Fielder. So anytime you're going to beat Prince on anything having to do with high energy, especially at the age of 40,
right?
You're special.
Is that great to see? I mean, you see a guy like Craig Counsell, and obviously so tied into the community here, grew up here, win that award at his age with the way that he's produced.
And he's completely earned it. The fans, I guess I shouldn't have been, but I was a little surprised to hear the other day not surprisingly, the top 2 selling T-shirts in our fan zone store are Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, but Craig's number 3.
That's great.
So I think it tells you a little bit about the fans voting with their pocketbooks for Craig there.
Our homegrown guy, loves it in Milwaukee.
He waits at first, 0-1 to Braun. Checks his swing, evens the count at 1-1. Casey McGee, we talked about him a little bit, but that is not 1-1. They check down to first. And it's now 0-2. Casey McGee, though, Rookie of the Year candidate, really out of nowhere, especially what he's done once he became consistent and really kind of took over third base, especially the last month.
Yeah, I think Casey, getting a late start because of the way the substitution patterns are going is...
That is hit long, but foul. Ryan wants to straighten that out for number 30.
As part of our fan appreciation, we wanted the fans in the Geld Club to have a souvenir. Ryan just took care of that.
In the soup. Yeah.
I love the hype, though, for Casey McGee, rookie of the year. Very clever.
Yeah, he's been a great find, and as I mentioned before, also just he's got all the values you would want in one of your young stars.
Ron got a piece of that one, sends it in and out of the Phillies dugout. So the Brewers trying to do some damage here. Casey McGee not in the lineup tonight. Counts gets that start over at third base. And you talk about the future. I think a lot of people had Matt Gamble penciled in at third base for next year, but we may see this guy over there at third base.
I think the manager is giving Casey every opportunity, and I think isn't he still leading the National League in RBIs for the month of September? So he's risen to the challenge.
Braun up the middle, off Kendrick's glove into center field, a base hit. Counsell goes back to second base. Brewers score their first run of the game, 4-1.
And it really is amazing how major league hitters make adjustments when they haven't seen a guy for a long, long time. First time through, Kyle Kendrick doing a pretty good job. And now the Brewers have seen his pitches once. That sinker stayed up. Kendrick got his ground ball, but able to sneak it into center field. And the Brewers on the board.
That brings up Prince Fielder. Nobody out. Ryan Braun at first, Craig Counsell at second, and one swing of the bat and we could be all leaving up. We saw it last night from Prince. Rounded out in his first at bat. Big swing and a miss. Prince Fielder has been so consistent game in and game out. You talk about the future. Everybody wants to know what his future is like, and I tell people I can't imagine somebody in 3 million fashions or form turning that turnstile, not wanting to see this guy play every day in 2010 and beyond. This one off the glove of Baco. It's going to move up the runners. May bring up an interesting scenario, though. Rock with first base open now.
Well, first base open. You got Jody Garrett on deck. With a 3-run lead, he'd only be walking the tying run to the plate. And that was just a clank by Baco. He's going to go out and talk to Kendrick. He got crossed up. Second night in a row where a Phillies catcher's been crossed up. Now Prince Fielder, a good opportunity to add to his National League leading RBI total.
Best NL slugging since 2007. Prince right there.
And Ryan.
And Ryan Braun as well. Top 4 guys playing in the same division. Prince to right. It is caught out there by Worth. Enough to bring the run home. So Prince adding one more RBI to the total. And the Brewers trim that 4-0 deficit in half, down 4-2.
And still not done. They tried to come in on Prince. He got it down on the handle just a little bit. Kendrick started him out with a changeup. That was a pretty good pitch, and Prince swings over the top of it. There's the pass ball. That looked like a strike, actually. And then they tried to come inside, didn't get it in there far enough, and Prince able to hit the fly ball to right. Quick bat, lightning hands to Prince Fielder inside. And the pass ball cost the Phillies a run.
That brings up Jody Garrett. Right back at Kendrick. Tries to make a play at second on Braun. Throws it away to center. Braun's got to get on his high horse to third. And he gets in there. He's safe. So first and third with one out.
Boy, what is Kyle Kendrick thinking? My goodness. You got a 2-run lead. You get the out. I think a perfect throw. I think it's pretty close at second base, but if you're going to make a play like that, you've got to have a runner dead cold. Ryan trying to get a good jump. A good throw, he's probably out. He throws it into center field. And how about the throw by Victorino? Almost getting Braun at third base. Doing a good job backing it up, and check out the throw to third. And a good deke by Pedro Feliz. They almost got it.
Braun looked back, and I think he thought that ball was nearly unplayable there and really had to kick it into gear to make it into third base. So the Brewers trying to open up a big-time threat here. Already 2 runs in the third. And so a meeting out on the mound. 4-2 Brewers right now. 4 errors in this ball game. 2 errors for each team.
Mark, you've been at this for a while now. Is it easier for you to watch these games? I mean, you're still a fan, but are you able to control your emotions a little bit better?
I think a little bit would be the operative word.
A little bit, right.
Come out of my seat a couple of times in this inning here alone, but a little better.
Well, you bring runs to the third inning. The Phillies got a couple, Brewers getting a couple. Your team not done yet, it looks like.
I just wanted to get a lot of air time with you guys.
Corey Hart now with 2 on and 1 out. And the Brewers got to do something at the very least to get Ryan Braun in from third base. Another interesting scenario as you forecast to 2010 what that entire outfield is going to look like.
Well, again, I think we've got the starters from this year, and Corey missed some of this year, but Ryan, Cam, and Corey, and then you start saying from there, Mike is a free agent, and Jody Garrett's played well, and I've heard some people say, well, if Matt Gamel's not going to play third base, could he play the outfield? And I don't know, maybe.
It's going to be interesting. It really is going to be an interesting offseason. I'm very much looking forward to it.
The hot stove will be plenty hot in Milwaukee.
Burning white hot. Here's from the beginning, yeah.
Hart waits for the 1-1. To second. Tag on Garrett, flip to first. And how about that defense by the Phillies to get out of it? But the Brewers get 2. Mark Antanasio, thank you very much. A great third inning. You got your club within 2.
Pleasure. Thanks, guys.
We're going to come back for the 4th right after this. Aflac trivia question: who hit the only home run for Milwaukee in last season's 2008 NLDS? Wonder if she knows. Big bachelorette party. I'm guessing that they didn't get married and show up here after the wedding. Is that a bachelorette party?
That would be a gamer
going
if
with
they
that?
were. That'd be a keeper.
I didn't see
wouldn't
the
it?
groom, let's put it that way, and she looked pretty happy. Yeah, there's no men in that picture. Rollins, floater to right. Corey Hart comes in. And quickly an out to start the 4th inning for Philly.
Mark certainly brought some excitement to the game, didn't he?
Well, some things happen when the owner steps in the booth. But at least he went away knowing his team's only down 4-2 at this point.
Well, it's nice the Brewers able to get those 2 runs back that the Phillies got in the 3rd inning.
Victorino pops it up in the infield. Counsell takes care of business right on the pitcher's mound. And this is just what Looper needs to whip through this 4th inning in a hurry.
Yeah, he could certainly use a quick inning. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we're in the 4th inning. 71 pitches already. It's a high pitch count.
Chase Utley 0 for 2. A ground out and a fly out. He'll step up with 2 outs here in the 4th. Well, it's interesting talking to the owner about the changes because, you know, he knows some things and, you know, he doesn't know some things, to be quite honest with you.
Doesn't know them yet.
Doesn't know them all yet.
But, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, anytime we talk to Doug Melvin about the same types of things, and, you know, Mark, and they're not going to show their hand. I mean, they're not going to tell everybody what they have on their plate or what they're thinking at this point. And you respect them for that, but you know, just for them to acknowledge the fact that there are going to be some very tough decisions to be made. It might not always be a popular decision, but it's going to be one that they are hoping it's going to improve the ball club. I mean, no doubt. I mean, you can't keep everybody. I mean, a lot of free agents out there on that the Brewers have to make calls on.
Utley fouls this one away.
Didn't even get a chance to ask him about Trevor Hoffman. The game got in the way. Imagine that.
Well, we weren't thinking at the very end at that point.
Now you start thinking about Trevor about the 8th.
I can't imagine if you have an opportunity and he wants to stay here that you can't get something done there, Rock. He has been vital. Straight out to Hart, a quick 4th inning, just what the doctor ordered for Braden Looper. Brewers down 4-2. Each team, the Phillies and Brewers, have one. An unassisted triple play by Eric Bruntlett back on August 29th. Only the 15th unassisted triple play in Major League history. Only the 2nd one to end a game. And of course, the Brewers doing it a short time later, earlier this month. Casey McGee getting it going to Lopez to Fielder, and Braden Looper on the hill when that feat was done. Pump it up. Good defense. And these two triple play teams match up in this series here at Miller Park this weekend.
Yeah, 4 triple plays in the National League this year. Pittsburgh has one, and Arizona, along with Philly and the Brewers.
Another family member.
There you go.
Craig
They love
Counsell.
you. They love you.
I think that's for Counts. You think?
Not you.
You don't think that was the we energy?
I'm just saying, Craig, you.
All right.
Come on. Play along.
I'm accepting the love. 1-2 the count on J.J. Hardy. He singled in the second inning. And the Brewers hoping to get a little of that hot bat touch they had in the third. Count even at 2-2. Both these teams 2 errors early in this ballgame through the first 3 innings, so it's been kind of sloppy. Might be one of those nights, huh?
Well, you can't make errors against the Phillies. I mean, every time it seems like the Brewers make an error, the Phillies put a run on the board. You can't give these guys extra outs. I mean, that's probably the stalest old cliche in baseball, but it applies when you have a team like Philadelphia. Best offensive team in the National League.
And a pretty good defensive team. Brewers a pretty good defensive team this year as well.
Yeah, Philly's second in team fielding percentage, and they've got a couple errors on the board.
Last pitch fouled off JJ's foot, so he gets back in the box and works the count full 3-2. Kendrick delivers. JJ fouls another one away. Kendrick, you mentioned, Rock, earlier, spent much of this season, actually has been called up 3 times and back to AAA for Lehigh Valley in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Love the nickname. Do you know what the nickname of their team is?
No.
The Iron Pigs.
Nice.
JJ draws the walk.
I like it.
The Iron Pigs. All right, let's see if you know the answer to the trivia question. Who hit the only home run for the Brewers in the NLDS last year? Prince against Joe Blanton in Game 4. And to think about that one when it's only 1.
Yeah.
Jason Kendall with J.J. Hardy at first. Nobody out in the Brewer 4th. Takes a strike. One thing about doing the game up here with you is, you know, during the game, usually after Davey and I do the pregame show,
right, you're eating.
We can chat and eat and take our time and watch the game. The scorecard is flawless. When you're actually doing the game and doing all the traffic, you got to pay attention to things like this.
Tougher.
Like a ball. So JJ goes to second, and instantly the Brewers have somebody in scoring position. And nobody out here in the 4th.
Yeah, Kyle Kendrick shooting himself in the foot. There you see him starting. He lifted the arm and then stopped it and then spun off. It was too late. Got to step off before you start doing that. He started to throw to first base before he stepped off.
Kendrick the 0-1. Kendall tries to go to right. This one foul. Jamie Moyer in the bullpen. Phillies pitching is good, but there are still a lot of question marks after basically the starting pitching at this point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it starts with the closer. Brad Lidge having an awful lot of problems, and when your closer is not getting the job done, it disrupts all of the bullpen rotation.
And Teno gets hit. Boy, that ball just pops straight in the air. That one may have got a bit of the armor, huh?
And trying to come inside 0-2. I'd never liked that. I'd never liked coming inside 0-2. I think Jason able to get the elbow pad on it. That's not going to hurt. And just too much of an opportunity to make a mistake 0-2 when you come inside like that. I mean, you hit a batter or you leave one out over the plate. No reason for it.
So Kendall gets hit for the 16th time this season to lead the National League. Brewers 2 on, nobody out here in the fourth. They trailed after 3. 4-0. Got 2 in their half of the third. Trying to get back to at least even here. Kendrick filling in for Pedro Martinez, who was scratched yesterday for today's start. Stiffness in his neck experienced in his last start, so he watches from the Philly dugout.
And an opportunity for Lupa to drop down a bunt.
So they're talking strategy. Now the Phillies have their infield set. And Luper's at the plate. Throw back to second, nearly thrown away.
Been a lot of interesting throws tonight.
Philly's not shy about throwing that ball around.
Boy. And really not that big of a lead off of second base. Why you throw that baseball? JJ back easily.
Luper squares to bunt. Got a piece of it and it goes foul. So that evens the count at 1-1.
That is a good opportunity for a catcher, though, to try and pick up a runner at second base. When the hitter bunts through it, you know, that runner at second, you know, is going to take an extra crow hop or two ordinarily to get a good jump to beat the throw at third. But J.J. Hardy really not that far off of second base.
Luper struck out with the bases loaded in the second to end the inning. There's a chance here to move the runners over. Throws to bunt. Gets it out in front of the plate. Baco only play to first. So Luper does his job. Puts runners at second and third with 1 out. This November, trained to be an umpire at the 2009 MLB Umpire Camp at Baseball's Youth Academy in Compton, California. Classes on and on the field instruction by major league supervisors and former big league umps with over 2,000 years of combined 200 years. That's a lot of years if it's 200, isn't it?
Added a 0.
That would be a lot. For more information, go to MLBUC.com.
2,000 years.
2,000 years.
Boy.
That'd be like getting every single umpire who ever umped. Ever. Bruce Fleming would probably top that list, wouldn't he?
Well, he had 36.
Yeah. I think he would top that list. Lopez rounds to Howard. That'll get a run in, and the Brewers within 4-3.
Well, good productive out. Lopez able to get the ground ball, infield back. Run scores, and Jason Kendall over to third base. So an infield hit could drive in the tying run.
Well, Craig Counsell still has a runner over at third base. 2 down. And the Brewers are rallying here on this Saturday night, Fan Appreciation Night. Counsell singled into third, scored a run. This one foul. You know, speaking of Fan Appreciation Night, Rock, one of the early big prizes, a year's supply of Miller Lite and a refrigerator. Now that's a prize.
That is a prize.
Isn't that a prize?
And that's first. That should be
that
last.
was one of the first things. So they're going to give a car away by the end of the night.
I like the year's supply of Miller Lite.
I figured you would.
I have a car.
Do you have a car big enough to take a year's supply of Miller Lite home?
No.
2-1 to Counsell. Strike evens it up at 2-2. I don't know of anybody that works to count better than Craig Counsell.
And particularly when there's ducks on the pond. I mean, when you're batting in front of Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, you got to be able to work the count, get on base somehow. That's the key. You want to get those guys up and men on base.
He's worked it to 2-2. Kendrick delivers. Counsell pops it up, and it'll come back at us. Foul.
You'd like to have your two best on-base percentage hitters in front of those two. And in this lineup today, except for Ryan and Prince, they do have the two top on-base percentage hitters.
Counsell swing and a miss. That'll end the fourth, but the Brewers get one more. They're within 4-3. Time now for our new U.S. Cellular text to vote question this week. You can text your answer to 234-234. Which feat do you think is more impressive this season? Text W for Ryan Braun becoming just the 6th player in Major League history with 100 home runs in his first 3 seasons. Or X for Prince Fielder becoming the team RBI record holder and the team walk record holder in the same season. Again, text your answer W or X to 234-234. Ryan Braun out and left. Prince Fielder at first here as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Ryan Howard will lead off. 135 RBIs as he steps up into the batter's box. Singled in the 3rd and scored a run. So he's officially 2 behind Prince Fielder for the RBI race. Okay, 1. Wow, that's his 5th home run off Braden Looper. He has 6 hits, 5 of them are home runs.
Amazing. That ball was hammered. I mean, I really don't know how else to describe it. A line drive, second deck and right. That ball right down the middle, and Ryan Howard didn't miss it. One of the best home run hitters in baseball hits another. 43 on the season.
I should preface that by saying those numbers are in 9 at-bats against Looper. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
9 career at-bats, 5 home runs, 6 hits. That makes it a 5-3 game. And Worth down in the count 0-2. And lines this one to Lopez for the first out.
Hey fans, tickets for Brewers on Deck 2010 are on sale now. Set to take place Sunday, January 31st from 10 o'clock to 5 at the Midwest Airlines Center. Brewers on deck is the Winter Fan Festival that will help bridge the gap between the Wisconsin winter and spring training. Tickets can be purchased at the Miller Park ticket office. You can also call 414-902-4100 or go to brewers.com.
Raul Ibanez steps up with one out here in the 5th inning. It is something to look at Ryan Howard and Prince Fielder's numbers, period. I mean, I know they're racing for the home run total, but they each have 43 home runs as well. Prince has a better batting average, about 25 points better. Perennial slugging all-star first baseman.
And the comparisons go deeper than that. I mean, when you talk about, runs scored, they're neck and neck. The one thing that Prince does better than Ryan Howard is hit left-handed pitching.
That's a very good point.
Prince has got a batting average over 280, and Ryan Howard about 200.
Extremely consistent Prince Fielder.
Prince Fielder's got him in the defensive side. It's hard to compare the two. I mean, how can you pick one over the other? They're both tremendous hitters.
Ibanez to third. Counsell makes the play, 2 down. We go back to 2007 season, most National League home runs. Howard 138, Fielder right behind at 127. Then there's Dunn and Pujols.
Now both of them, Howard and Fielder, with 50 home run seasons. Ryan Howard hit 58 in his MVP season. Also Rookie of the Year. Prince doesn't have the hardware. Not yet.
Not yet. When you're that good, things like that could be coming. So these fouls went off. Even the count at 1-1. 2 for 2, couple of singles, and RBI and a run. So good night for Feliz tonight for the Phillies. Onto that number 7 spot. Bottom of the order, help producing as much as the top and meaty part of the order for the Phillies here tonight. Count evens up at 2-2. Looper about to throw his 90th pitch of the night here in the 5th inning. And the pitcher spot in the Brewer order still a ways away, as Prince Fielder is going to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Chuck that Ryan Braun. And he gets the strikeout on Feliz, and that'll end the 5th. But the Phillies get a run on Howard's 43rd home run. Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
And tonight's Saturday the game winner is the Replay Bar in Manitowoc, as they call the Brewers, by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to an April or May 2010 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy, as always, of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Bottom of the fifth we go. Ryan Braun to lead off. Wisconsin Powerball home run leaderboard, Prince Fielder 43, Ryan Braun looking for number 30. As we wind down to the final week of the baseball season after tomorrow. Just one home game left here in 2009. Tomorrow afternoon, Braun to right, singles to start out the fifth inning and gets on board for Prince Fielder.
Nobody covers the outside part of the plate any better than Ryan Braun. I mean, nobody anywhere. That was a slider off the outside corner, just sticks the bat out there and finds a hole in the right.
And Ryan Braun may have chased Kyle Kendrick, and Charlie Manuel makes the move, and he'll bring in a lefty to face Prince Fielder. So Kendrick in a spot start for Pedro Martinez. Goes 4+. We'll have his final numbers when we come back. To 3, bottom of the fifth inning, nobody out. Kyle Kendrick out, 4+ innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Responsible for the runner Ryan Braun over at first base as Jamie Moyer comes in. He also had 4 strikeouts. And Jamie Moyer, starter, now out of the bullpen, at least for now, for Charlie Manuel.
They had 28 appearances, 25 of them starts, a 5 ERA. But still a 12-game winner for Philadelphia. Taken out of the starting rotation. Wasn't very happy about it early on in the season. And a very serviceable left-hander wherever you use him. And you would figure he's going to perhaps try to get through Prince Fielder. Nobody loosening in that Phillies bullpen, so you figure it's his inning.
Fielder 288, 13 home runs, 46 RBIs against left-handed pitching this season. Rock mentioned it a little while ago about the comparison between he and Howard, and a big advantage for Fielder against left-handed pitching, without question. Before this season, Jamie Moyer last pitched in relief in 2004. Fielder chops on the infield, but this one foul. Took out a piece of Prince's foot as he limps back and tries to walk it off.
And before this year, he had one relief appearance from 1997 to 2008.
So how difficult is this, if any, right now? Is it more of a mind thing
for a guy his
preparation?
Age? I mean, this is a guy that can adjust to any situation. One thing you got to keep in mind with a guy like Moyer, ordinarily, even when he was making starts and was effective, you had to get him early, so his command wasn't all that great early on.
Is it going to be fair to right fielder? And it looks like it's foul. Wow. Set that one for a ride. Even the foul balls are dramatic for Prince Fielder. But he's behind in the count now, 0-2. Nobody out here in the fifth. Braun at first. Swing and a miss. So Moyer comes in and does his job.
Took something off. 77 inner half, and Prince swings over the top of it. Good pitch by Moyer. Another guy coming in on a 0-2 count. But the point being for Jamie Moyer, you know, he would struggle first, second inning before he got his good command and his control. And coming out of the bullpen, you can't afford that. You have to have good command, good stuff right away.
Good point. Garrett's up there now. Another lefty. So Moyer got the first down. On Fielder, Braun still at first. Corey Hart on deck. Garrett 0 for 1 with a walk in this game. Pops it up. Foul territory. And a nice grab out there by Feliz. So 2 down, and Braun still at first. So now Corey Hart comes up. Grounded into a double play to end the third inning. And was robbed of a hit, maybe even extra base hit by Ibanez in the second inning. Moyer to Hart. Chopped down to Howard, and he'll take it himself. And that is the fifth inning. 5-3 Phillies. On Fox Sports Wisconsin, it's presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By AirTran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. Back at Miller Park to start the sixth. Phillies batting and lead this game 4-3. Paul Bacco, the catcher, hit a 2-run home run earlier in the ball game. Leads off the inning. Braden Looper still out on the hill. Pitch count now at 92. Looper had a tough second and third inning where he gave up 2 runs in each of those innings. Didn't get quite the help from his defense that he should have. That helped the cause for the Phillies, getting those 4 runs in those 2 innings. 26 pitches and 32 pitches respectively in the second and third. This one hit deep to center. Garrett on the move in the gap and will catch up with it just in front of the wall for the first out.
Paul Bacco put a charge into that one. It sounded as though he got it a little bit off the end of the bat, but hit it pretty well deep into center field. He's seeing it pretty well tonight.
Starting to feel his swing a little bit, getting some more playing time. And Jamie Moyer will step up and hit for himself, which means we'll see him in the 6th. You would think.
You bet. If he's hitting.
If he's hitting.
You bet. He's gonna go out there for another inning.
It's a loaded bench in the month of September. Moyer this year 122. A couple of RBIs.
Yeah, Phillies have 11 relief pitchers down in the bullpen, including Moyer. So they can play all night.
Chops this one foul.
Brewers have 11 as well.
Stocked, loaded, and ready.
So if both managers run out of pitching, they've got problems.
Let's not think that far ahead, right? Moyer back to Looper. No underhand, a fielder, 2 down. We had that with Jerry Augustine on the instructional last night. The comebacker to the pitcher.
Yep, did it just like Jerry said. Must have been watching. Yeah, we'll load up on that post-game meal in the clubhouse and check out Jerry Augustine's tips on a comebacker. Follow the underhand throw. Don't stop and have your hand go straight up and you pop that throw up. You follow the underarm throw. Isn't that what he said, or is that what I said?
I think that's what both of you said. But there's always a little danger in that, right? You get out of your motion. I think you brought up the good point. Why does it seem like it's difficult for a pitcher sometimes to make that throw?
Right. Just throw it hard.
When they're throwing bullets to a small target at 90 miles an hour.
They call it the yips.
Not for Looper, though. He works against Rollins. To Fielder. And a nice, tidy 6th inning for Braden Looper and the Brewers. They trail by 2. Looper ran into trouble against the bottom of the order early as Paul Bacco hits his 3rd home run of the season. And the Phillies jump down to a 2-0 lead at that point. Will go up 4-0, but the Brewers nickel and dime their way back into this ball game in the 3rd inning. As Fielder and Braun were able to knock in some runs. And Lopez as well, but Howard, when it was a 4-3 game, nails his 43rd home run off Looper. That one coming in the 4th, and that's where we sit right now as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 5-3 Philadelphia. J.J. Hardy to lead off. And he's ahead in the count 2-0. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. A hit and a walk and a run scored for J.J. Hardy tonight. Productive night for the Brewers shortstop. Takes a strike. Villanueva was up earlier in the game, now up here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Looper's spot to up 3rd.
Hardy works the count to 2-2. Brewers 2 games under 500. Still a chance for at least a 500 season, if not a winning record. They've won 10 of their last 15 ball games. One more against the Phillies tomorrow here, and then they go to Colorado and St. Louis. So the last 3 series of the regular season all against likely playoff teams. And Hardy called out on strikes. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming texts the broadcast. Here's our question tonight. Has a batted ball ever hit the roof at Miller Park? Don from Milwaukee wants to know.
I don't remember one.
I don't think so.
So I'm going to have to say no.
Is that a definitive enough answer? If we don't think so, that's what we're going with.
There aren't many home games that I've missed since Miller Park's opened in 2001. I don't recall a baseball hitting the roof here at Miller Park, even a foul ball.
As long as you don't get a punter in from the Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
Jason Kendall steps up. Part of the design and architecture, though, is you've got to figure those things, don't you?
Right. You would think that you'd be anticipating better than that.
Kendall lines to second for the 2nd out. And Jason Bourgeois will come up as the pinch hitter in the pitcher spot.
I don't think a punter could hit the roof here at Miller Park.
You don't think? Probably not.
I don't think there's any chance of it.
I don't think the people here at Miller Park want to see a football game here anyway, do they?
Not happening.
I'll tell you one thing, when they designed Miller Park, wondering if they knew how high some of the home runs that Prince Fielder has hit here. I mean, he's got some towering shots.
Yeah.
So Bourgeois has a home run and 3 RBIs on the major league level since being called up. 200 average.
I know one thing, they're talking about one of those gigantic, HD scoreboards out there in center field. They better figure out a way to protect it from Prince.
That's a good point. There's batting practice, and then there's regular games where he seems to be launching him out there this year.
He wears him out there.
And the way the stadium's designed, I can't imagine them putting it any other place. No. It's got to go in that spot. Bourgeois ahead in the count now, 3-0. Lopez waits on deck. I don't think Bernie wants to be supplanted out there. Bourgeois takes a strike, 3-1. New scoreboard potentially coming, it sounds like, in 2011.
I think that's the word.
A lot of new technology rapidly coming over the last couple of years. Want to get a high quality scoreboard that'll be worth the money and last a long time. Bourgeois, 3-1 count. Takes the ball, so the Brewers have a base runner with 2 outs. And that gets the top of the order back up in Lopez.
A good eye by Bourgeois up there at the plate. That last pass ball didn't miss by much on that outside corner. Now the way to go after Jamie Moyer, he's going to want to try and get you out of the way, and he'll flip up the curveball once in a while, change us fastballs away. He'll straighten you up inside, but most of the time you don't have to worry about it too much. There's a cut fastball that ended up on the inside corner. It would be easier to eliminate what pitches Jamie Moyer does not throw than going through the whole arsenal of pitches that he does throw. Throws everything at you.
That's amazing.
And changeups and cutters and sinkers and four-seamers and curveballs, sliders.
Moyer checks Bourgeois at first. Moyer born in 1962. How many pitches can you develop over that period of time? Keeping his eye on Bourgeois. Gives us a chance to wish Gene Healy an upcoming birthday next week, number 100. Watches every Brewer broadcast. Happy birthday. Last attended a game in 2007.
Wow.
Moyer giving us an opportunity to give her a lot of love.
That's quite a milestone.
It is.
100. We've been talking about milestones all year. That's a good one. Happy birthday.
Oh, 1 to Lopez. Watches this one down and low to even the count at 1-1. '24th appearance for Jamie Moyer against the Brewers. Lopez pops it up. And this one falls fair and into the park here at Miller Park. So it's going to be a ground rule double for Lopez. And they'll send Bourgeois back to third.
Yeah, bad break for the Brewers. That would have scored Bourgeois all the way from first base with 2 outs. He's running on contact. Well, he couldn't have thrown it out there any better than that. In between Utley and Jason Worth in right. Hits the warning track out there in fair territory and into the seats. If that ball stays in play, it's a run. Bourgeois with great speed. He's running on contact. And a bad break for the Brewers.
That brings up Craig Counsell. Base hit could potentially tie the ball game. Brewers down 5-3. 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Counsell drags a bunt, and it goes foul. How about that for an idea from the crafty veteran?
Nice. Hey, trying to get that one by Moyer. If he gets it by Moyer and towards second base, it's a base hit. Little drag bunt. Lefty versus lefty. Not a bad idea. The only way you do that with 2 outs is if there's a man at third base.
Counsell down a strike. Pops one into center. Will it fall? It does. And this game's going to be tied. Hit him with the 8, and Craig Counsell comes through And it's a 5-5 ball game.
Well, that'll be a base hit and 2 RBIs for Counsell. It looked like Rollins got there, but wasn't able to make the basket catch out in short center field. Well, 2 outs, nobody on. A walk to Bourgeois, and then seeing eye base hits by both Lopez and Counsell, played 2 runs. Neither team playing very good defense tonight. That ball should have been caught. But it's a base hit and a tie game.
And the Brewers, once down 4-0 early in this contest, have rallied back now, and it's an even game at 5-5. Braun hits the first pitch, and the Brewers are done in the 6th inning. We go to the 7th, locked up. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Miller Lite. There's light beer and there's triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Another nice crowd, more than 30,000 on hand for Fan Appreciation Night. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Upcoming Brewers schedule tomorrow. Philadelphia back here 12:30 on Fox Sports Wisconsin, and Monday off. And they'll open up that 3-game series against Colorado. Tuesday and Wednesday games on TV. Both night games, full coverage starts at 7 o'clock. All the coverage, of course, starts with Brewers Live pregame. Got a pop in for it, didn't I?
Brewers Live.
Telly Hughes gets to do it tomorrow with Davey.
Is Telly here today?
Telly's here. He's floating around somewhere. It's Fan Appreciation Night, so he's appreciating the fans tonight.
Shaking hands, kissing babies.
Well, I think he wanted to borrow Mark Antonasio's sport coat, you know, with the liner.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it fit him.
No.
Might be off by a size or two.
Telly's a big man. Well, Carlos Villanueva on for the 62nd time this year.
Rock Craig Counsell's would-be hit now in air. A lot of changes the last couple of days.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, that's a play that Rollins would tell you he should have made, but I mean, he had to go out there. He was running pretty good to get out there, but he did get to the spot and missed the baseball. That's a tough error. But it's one of those plays that you know a big league shortstop's got to make, but it's a tough play. But I can see where they gave him an error, but I can also see where you can give him a hit.
So Villanueva in to start the 7th inning, pitched against Philly in game 1, 2 innings, 4 strikeouts. He has settled back into the bullpen role. He and Seth McClung, of course, went from the bullpen to starters and then back to the bullpen. And he strikes out Victorino.
And he's starting to really have good command of that changeup. That's the key pitch for Villa. Get ahead with the fastball, put it in a good spot, and then put particularly left-handed hitters away with that very good changeup. There's Big Seth. He's got one appearance and he's coming off the disabled list. That changeup right down the middle. Victorino out in front.
Chase Utley. Utley, a couple of flyouts to right. 0 for 3 on the night.
Brewers have handled Chase Utley pretty well. He does not have a hit in this series.
Utley chops this one foul. 1-2 is the count with one down here in the 7th inning.
Those are bad numbers for a second baseman. 31 home runs, 91 RBIs.
Tremendous second base numbers.
110 runs scored.
Villanueva delivers and just misses.
Where'd this miss? Huh? Come on.
I can't begin to make a guess.
Don't bother.
Utley waits on the 2-2 from Villanueva. Right back to the Brewer pitcher. May have glanced off him. Hardy, strong throw, and he makes the play. Has not been easy being an infielder for either team in this game for whatever reason. 5 errors so far. JJ got caught earlier in the game. That makes a strong throw there.
Yeah, 5 errors, and one by an outfielder, one by a pitcher. They had 2 errors. Pitcher for the Phillies, outfielder for the Phillies. So 1 infield error, and that was a questionable error at that.
Yeah, it was. Howard already has a home run. Lines this one down the right field line. Foul. Boy, he had a rocket off Looper in the 5th. 43rd home run of the year. And RBI number 136, so he trails Prince Fielder by 1 in the RBI race. You know, if you're buying a ticket or watching on TV, it's fun just to watch those two go at it, because look at all the runs they've produced so far in 3 games.
Yeah, 12 of them. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Top of the 7th, 5-5 game. Brewers and Phillies. That one misses. 2-1. Howard, a couple of hits in 3 at-bats, including that home run you just saw. Check swing, puts it in play, and he's going to reach. on the Brewers shift. Nobody out there. Luck of the draw there. He's at first.
Well, you can't defend that. You can't defend a check swing dribble down the third baseline. What you do defend is the trends for a particular hitter. And in this case, when Ryan Howard hits the ball on the ground, he usually pulls it. And very rarely does he hit a ground ball in that direction. But the check swing is undefensible.
Jason Worth out. He has an RBI and a sacrifice fly. That happened in the third. This one misses. Count even at 1-1. Amazing how many Phillies pedal up to the plate with more than 30 home runs on the season.
Yeah.
Worth with 34.
They hit a lot of them. A lot of power hitters up and down that lineup.
Run around the move. Worth fouls this back. So it's 1-2. And Howard, who was running, goes back to first.
Yeah, Carlos forgot all about him. Had a walking lead and took off. And it wouldn't even have been close had Worth taken that pitch. You got to at least let him know you're keeping an eye on him.
This one misses outside. 2-2 the count. Career highs in home runs, RBIs, doubles, extra base hits, runs, walks, hits, and at bats this season. This one fouled back.
He got away with one there. A hanging slider right down the middle. Jason Worth realizes he let a good pitch get by him. Yikes. A little bit behind it and underneath.
This one gets away from Kendall, so Howard jogs down the second. Count is full now, 3-2 with 2 out here in the 7th inning.
That's the first time that the Phillies have had a man in scoring position since the 3rd inning. That Ryan Howard home run to lead off the 5th, but that's been it.
And he sits at second base, and a base hit could potentially put the Phillies up. Full count from being away, but on the way. Worth to Hardy. And he throws him out, and that's how the 7th inning will end for Philly. Nothing easy for the Brew Crew. go back to how the 7th inning ended. J.J. Hardy and Fielder making a nice play over at first base.
Yeah, good pick. That ball gets by him. That's a run. And Prince barely keeping his foot on the bag when he had that baseball in his glove.
So Jamie Moyer and the Phillies out on the field to face Prince Fielder and the Brewers in a 5-5 game. Bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, 3rd inning of work for Jamie Moyer. There is activity in that Phillies bullpen. They have Fielder, Jody Garrett, left-handed hitters, and then a right-handed hitting lineup after.
Big swing by Fielder and a miss, but last night he connects for his 43rd home run. A Wisconsin Powerball home run total for Prince is at 43. That was a no-doubter.
Cliff Lee, left-hander, 13th home run for Prince against a left-handed pitcher.
Well, if you split up the averages, you're facing right-handers more by average, but to put up those numbers against lefties says a lot.
Batting average near 300. I should say 290.
Fielder can't connect there, so he strikes out to start out the bottom of the 7th for the Brewers. That brings up Jody Garrett.
3rd strikeout for Jamie Moyer. He's gotten Prince twice. Changeup.
Tyler Walker warming in the bullpen. This could be Moyer's potential last batter in Garrett Rock, as you predicted. We'll see.
Let's see what the situation is. That's certainly a guy that can eat up more than a couple of innings, Jamie Moyer. I mean, that goes without saying. He's been a starter his whole career. But you got Walker down there looking like he's getting ready for a reason.
Garrett to second. Out number 2 of the 7th inning.
Could leave him in with 2 outs and nobody on.
So Baco goes out to talk to Moyer. We'll see if it's to buy a little bit more time for Walker. Charlie Manuel to top step, but leaning against the rail. I think he likes what he sees. Hart steps in. 2 down for the Brewers in the 7th.
I guess Tyler Walker was getting ready just in case Moyer was in trouble. Todd Coffey getting loose.
Coffey pitched in last night's game. Hart ahead of the count now, 2-0. See if the Brewers can get a 2-out rally going, perhaps.
Did it last inning. 2 outs and nobody on.
Ball 3 to Hart.
Ended up with 2 runs.
Moyer comes in and nails the strike. 3-1 is the count now on Corey Hart. Hart 0 for 3 in this game. Pokes one out to right. And a base hit for Corey Hart. So he's at first. That'll bring J.J. Hardy up.
And now you might see Walker come in. Now that there's a man on base. That 3-1 pitch, and Jamie Moyer tries to get one on the outside corner. Corey reaching those big long arms, able to get the end of the bat on it and keep the inning alive.
Hardy fouls off the first pitch.
Well, I guess the question you ask yourself at this point is, why was Tyler Walker even loosening up?
Hardy pops it up. And straight back foul behind the screen. But he's down in the count 0-2. Hardy batting .212 entering this ball game in the 9 games since rejoining the Brewers. 1 for 2 tonight, a single walk and a run scored. Trying to move his good friend Corey Hart around the bases. Corey draws a throw for Moyer.
0-2 pitches, for the most part, have been in on right-handed batters in this game for the Phillies. It's an 0-2 count to J.J. Hardy. Let's see what they do. Away.
And he takes the ball. Lead runner sits at first in Corey Hart. Hardy lays off. 2-2.
Let's see if Corey takes off on this pitch.
The Braves beat the Nationals earlier today, so the Phillies' magic number entering tonight's game stood at 4. So any thoughts of clinching here in Milwaukee, their division, put on hold till they go back to Philly to close out the final week of the regular season.
That closest race in baseball, the American League Central. Detroit and Minnesota both winning big.
How about that? 2 games separate the Twins and the Tigers. And a big 4-game series starts Monday between those two. Hardy rounds out to short. They get the force on Hart to end the 7th inning. Still tied. Fantasy Camp 2010 starts January 31st. To register and call 262-679-3612. Nice week-long camp when we had a couple of the fantasy campers on last night in our on-field instructional, and several times have had your fantasy campers on, and they talk it up big. They've learned a lot, and they've helped us out with the instructionals by your instruction and fun.
Yep, a lot of fun out there, and campers and coaches get together every night for a happy hour, do a little Q&A, some trivia questions, and go to brewers.com/fantasycamp for information. As Todd Coffey is on for the 74th time. It appeared in yesterday's ball game. A 2.97 ERA for Coffey. 63 punch-outs in 78 2/3 innings for the big right-hander.
He has a couple of saves on the season, one of them coming against Philadelphia back in that series in April. He had 2 saves in the month of April. As the Brewers tried to kind of patchwork until Trevor Hoffman was ready to go to start out 2009. Fan Appreciation Night. Young and old, everyone appreciating what they're seeing tonight. It's a 5-5 game. It's going to go down to the wire. 2 innings to go here in regulation, anyone.
Well, both bullpens have done a pretty good job. Carlos Villanueva with a nice outing.
Yep, indeed.
A scoreless 7th. Getting through the tough part of this order.
So Coffey works against Ibanez and delivers a strike. 0 for 2 and a walk in this game. Coffey back in a groove out of the bullpen for the Brewers. Not a lot of run in his last 6 appearances, spanning 4+ innings. Ibanez fouls this one off. The biggest thrill, though, outside of his pitching, is when he actually comes in the middle of an inning, and he does the trot in, if you will, more like a sprint for him. As Stetter warms up in the bullpen. A fan favorite when he does that.
Yeah, a full-out sprint all the way from left center. Gets the fans going, doesn't he?
Well, it certainly does. It's ahead of the count to Ibanez, 1-2. And one misses inside, even the count at 2-2. I always notice either Kendall or Rivera, who's ever catching, when he starts running in and gets close to the infield dirt, they start moving off the mound a little bit. They don't, just in case the brakes aren't working.
Just in case he can't slow down.
Ibanez to center. Garrett's got a beat on it. And there's your first out of the 8th inning. Pedro Feliz will step in now, the third baseman for the Phillies. 2 for 3 tonight. Couple of singles, RBI and a run. He was wreaking havoc on Braden Looper in the 2nd and 3rd innings.
Yeah, 7 and 8 in the batting order tonight. 4 base hits and 3 RBIs.
They had the 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 hits, 4 RBIs in game 1.
Right.
Feliz to right. Corey Hart's under it for out number 2. That'll bring up Paul Bacco, who homered in the 2nd inning.
And nearly hit one out in the 5th. Make it the 6th. Led off the 6th inning with a deep fly ball to center field.
There's that box score. Howard has 3 hits, but the bottom of the order outside of Howard is doing the damage here in this game.
It's been quite interesting to watch the top of the order for the Phillies. I mean, they've struggled for the most part, except for that Rollins 3-run home run on Thursday. Chase Utley held hitless in the first 3 games.
How about that?
That doesn't happen all that much.
Rocco going the other way. Braun is under it. And a 1-2-3 eighth inning for Todd Coffey. 5-5 Brewers coming to bat. Number 43, but the Brewers battle back. Craig Counsell gets a couple plated off the error on Rollins on the blooper out in center. And that's where we stand right now as the Brewers come to bat in the bottom of the eighth inning in a 5-5 ball game. Jamie Moyer stays out for Philadelphia to start the eighth inning. He came in relief in the fifth.
He had 3 innings. He's only given up a couple of base hits. Had it not been for that error by Rollins, would not have allowed any runs.
Jason Kendall leads off, takes a ball.
2 unearned runs on his register so far tonight.
That one in there for a strike to even the count at 1-1. Trevor Hoffman getting ready in the Brewer bullpen. Trevor Hoffman has made appearances here so far in the series. It's been a pretty good homestand for Milwaukee. Trying to close it out on a real positive note. 9-game homestand. Wins can close it out with a 6-3 record. Kendall pops it up. Victorino and Worth battle for it, and Worth takes it. Mike Cameron set to pinch hit for Milwaukee last night in a starter role. Pops a home run. A 3-run shot. And all 3 of his hits here in his last at-bats have all been for home runs.
Yeah, one of 2 3-run home runs for the Brewers last night. Prince Fielder had the other.
Fouls off the first pitch. Mike Cameron, somebody we spoke about to Mark Antanasio when he was in. You should take a look at the Brewers box score. Fielder and Garrett 4-5 have not gotten on base yet, but Everyone else chipping and clawing again after the Brewers were down 4-0, taking apart and getting the team back in this ballgame. Mike Cameron, the community work that he's done, the outstanding job in center field. 2 seasons with the Brewers. Pops this one up to right. Worth's got it. And out number 2. Be interesting to see what they do in center field in 2010.
Yeah, and a lot of different spots. It's going to be very interesting. And center field there. Pitching staff. Trevor Hoffman, Lopez, Braden Looper. And the beat goes on.
So you're saying stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Lopez swings at the first pitch. And this one goes foul. Lopez a base hit in the 3rd. An RBI driven in the 4th inning and a double in the 6th. So he's had a pretty productive night. How about some more in a 5-5 game? Takes the ball to even the count at 1-1. Craig Counsell waits on deck. Jamie Moyer in relief, pitching his 4th inning. It's like having 2 starters out there for the Phillies tonight.
Yeah, very effective Moyer. The pitcher's spot is due up to lead off the 9th. So this will be Moyer's last inning.
He even had it at bat earlier to keep his spot out there on the mound. Lopez fouls another one away.
Well, you go out there, you play the hot hand. I mean, you've got the bullpen issues, and Moyer throwing well. Why mess around? Last time he had an opportunity to get an at bat. And 1 out in the 6th.
This one misses. Lopez working the count to full now. Brewers have been pretty effective with 2 outs and nobody on in this ball game. Trying to push the envelope. Lopez to center. Victorino's got it. And we go to the 9th. We're still tied at 5-5.
Phillies are all tied at 5 as we head to the top of the 9th, and I'm pleased to be joined by some very lucky fans who won a brand new Chevy Malibu. That would be Jason, because Jason bought the tickets, but he brought his girlfriend Melinda, and her dad Ryan, and
her dad
Rick.
Yep.
I'm getting it all messed up tonight, but I'm excited for you. Do I get a chance to just roll with you a little bit?
Yeah, I'm having a great time here. I was surprised that we won, and I need a new car.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, of course, you have no idea when you buy tickets you're going to end up leaving the ballpark with a brand new car. you found out it was your tickets, what was your initial reaction?
Well, I said when we came here, I said, we're going to win the car. We had 4 of us. These are my season tickets. So I let my girlfriend and her dad pick the first 2, and I said I get the other 2, and turned out it was one of the ones. So.
Well, this is always a great night for you, of course, but 3 million fans once again come out to see the Brewers here at Miller Park. What does that say about the loyalty as a Brewers fan? What does that mean to you to hear that?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, I come to the ballpark, wanting to see fans in the stands just like the players do, and I've been a loyal fan. I come, I've got friends that say, why do we come here? And I said, hey, I like to come. I like the Brewers. I like being outside watching the games, and I like coming and having a good time.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy the wheels, all right?
I will. Thank you, Tim.
All right, fan appreciation night. He leaves with a brand new car, guys.
Rock, you need a ride home?
Maybe. I don't know.
In a new ride. It's always nice taking a new ride. Congratulations. But I know what you'd rather have tonight.
Yeah, that year's supply.
Yeah, you made that perfectly clear.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to see the guy who won that.
Trevor Hoffman on to start the top of the 9th inning, falling behind 2-0 now to Matt Stairs, who's pinch hitting.
Well, a non-save situation, obviously, but Ken Mock is hoping that Trevor can put up a 0 here in the 9th, and the Brewers score a run in the bottom half and get Trevor a win.
You ought to be careful. The Stairs leads the majors with 5 pinch hit home runs here in 2009, and Dave Bush certainly knows a lot about that. Broke up his no-hitter in Philly back in April.
And Stairs got in that bat against Hoffman last night and popped up.
Dave Bush set to pitch tomorrow for the Brewers. Hoffman delivers a strike. 3-1. 5-5. Top of 9. Stairs pops it up. Kendall stands on home plate. Now moves a little bit for the first out.
Pretty much the same scenario of last night. Fell behind Stairs and got him on a fastball. And Stairs popped that one up too.
Jimmy Rollins steps in. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. First pitch in there for a strike.
Yeah, just for bookkeeping once again. That scoring decision on Counsell was changed back to a hit.
I don't know what to say about my scorecard tonight, Rock.
Yeah, well, it's a hit, 2 RBIs for Counsell. He'll be happy about that.
That seems to make more sense to me. I liked it the first time round.
Did you do yours in pen?
Yeah, I need more whiteout.
There you go.
Rollins 1-1.
That at bat for Counsell is about an inch thick on my whiteout.
I came to the ballpark today and I said, shoot, I didn't bring any pencils because I normally don't need them. I don't score as intently as you do. That went in there for a strike. 1-2.
Actually, I was sent a note saying that it was never scored a hit. It was always an error, so it was just changed once. I stand corrected.
Hoffman misses. 2-2. So still big games and big outings for each individual Brewer player. This one line foul. And if the Brewers were having the second half of the season they were hoping for, imagine what Hoffman's numbers would be like. 36 saves already, and the second half of the season he just wasn't needed quite as much as you would have desired.
And he says he wants to come back. He wants to get 600 saves. A little over 20 to go to get that.
Another foul. Trevor Hoffman and Jamie Moyer. See how they factor into tonight's game. Moyer doing a nice job out of the bullpen. 4 strong innings. Kendrick went 4+. Moyer came in, took the next 4. It's like a minor league start, isn't it? Rollins just got a piece of this one to stay alive. 2-2.
Well, now 2 earned runs on the line for Jamie Moyer after that scoring decision. Pretty good work. 4 innings, only 56 pitches.
Hoffman delivers. Rollins again gets just enough to stay alive. This is at bat number 647 on the season for Rollins. That tops the league. Swing and a miss. Hoffman's got the first 2. Trying to set the stage for his team to win at the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, 3 straight changeups, each one a little bit lower than the first. And Rollins not able to hold up. Very defensive swing. And Trevor has 2 outs with nobody on.
Victorino in there. He's ahead in the count, a ball and no strikes. 0 for 4. Reached on an error. That one in there for a strike to even it up at 1-1. See if Hoffman can fire up this crowd in a 5-5 game. We can get this last batter here, and the Brewers can come in and win at the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, meat of the order coming up. 2, 3, 4 for the Brewers.
This one chopped foul. 1-2 the count now in Victorino. He's actually been on twice on errors in this game. Strike 3 call. That gets the fans on their feet. 5-5 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Counsell, Braun, and Fielder on the way for the Brewers. They were down 4-0 at one point. Now a chance to win it. have seen it all as we start the ninth inning, bottom of 9. Walker on to face Council. Phillies and Brewers locked up 5-5. Been an entertaining game here in Fox Sports Wisconsin. Council starts out 2-0. Tyler Walker been pretty good out of the bullpen since he was called up from AAA in July. This one high, 3-0.
Hard thrower out of the bullpen with a good slider. 29th appearance for Tyler Walker. A .223 earned run average. There has been some talk of Walker maybe being inserted into that closer's role if Brad Lidge continues to struggle.
Gets a strike in there on Craig Counsell. See if the Brewers can continue their rally against the Phillies. They have never led in this ball game. Again in there for a strike. Full count now to Craig Counsell. How many times has this guy started rallies in the bottom of the ninth, or won ball games in clutch times in his career? Poke to right. This one's going to hook foul.
Man, you just can't throw him a fastball just to get me over to Craig Counsell. He will hook one, like he did right there. Not afraid to pull the baseball if he gets one he likes.
8 triples, 4 home runs. He'll take the extra base hit. Pound's got a piece of that one, fouled off his foot. He'll walk that off.
Right off the calf.
Oh, right off the calf.
Yeah.
A little more muscle there. 3-2. Counts. Base hit. So Craig Counsell starts the bottom of the ninth inning with a base hit. Ryan Braun steps up with Prince Fielder now on deck. Our results of our USL text to vote. Most impressive feat, 2009, Braun's 100th home run or Fielder's RBI and walk record. Right now, Fielder has the lead. You can text your vote to 234-234 through tomorrow's game.
Well, what an at-bat for Craig Counsell. Worked the count. Tyler Walker continued to throw strikes and got his base hit to center. The best run-producing tandem in all of baseball coming up with Craig on first.
Fan appreciation night. They're loving this right now. Braun fouls off the first pitch, 2 for 4 in this game so far. Base hit in the third, base hit in the fifth. Braun in the gap. Does he have enough to win it? He does! His first home run since September 11th. And this is a game winner and number 30 on the season for Ryan Braun. Seven to 5 is the final score, and what a way to finish Fan Appreciation Night.
Fox Sports Wisconsin Brewers coverage continues.